I'm back. As always, I am coming back with information. This information has played a very important impact on my life. And on my spiritual journey, I am learning to become a greater version of me. And in order to do that, I am getting a degree in loving me. It requires me to want to change. It requires Yolanda to go within and replace what she already knows with something new that will cause her to be a better version of her. So I invite you to put on your spiritual shoes and also seek a greater version of you. And that greater version of you is your own personal journey. This is that you are choosing to change. You are choosing to love yourself first. That when you come in the presence of others, you can also love them where they are. Now, the title of this book is The Sacred Woman, A Guide to Healing the Feminine Body, Mind, and Spirit. Turn it around again. This is the author, Queen. Spell her name is AFUA. She is truly a queen. Let me turn around one more time so I can zoom that picture in. This beautiful lady has decided to put together a book to take words off a personal journey that she has, and she's put it in the outline where other women can read this. Let me turn it around. And let me just say this. Even though her desire is to help women, I want to speak to the men, because a lot of the men, you have to understand that you too encounter, whether it's your mom, your sister, whether you're in a marriage, a partnership, whether you work with females, whether you have sisters, but a lot of men, this information is important for you to learn also. So I don't want to make you think that this is just for women, but a lot of times men have gotten away from learning a lot of the things that trouble women. And I can honestly say, my dad was so loving. The kind of love that he would give whenever I, hurt myself, or whenever I felt like the world was heavy. He just had a way of loving me that it eased the pain. And I had the opportunity to encounter other men that also had that same genuine spirit. I actually can say I learned more about myself through a lot of men. And that is because they had close relationships with their mothers, or they just had a passion to learn what troubled other women because of the women that they personally dealt with. Now, these were male friends, or, when I was pregnant, my gynecologist, he was a man, and he actually, at that time, he would have you get dressed, come to his office fully dressed. On his desk, he had his family. He had a compassionate and caring heart. So a lot of men learn about women also, and it is because they have a compassion. So this book is just not limited. So dads, if you have daughters, or, if you're dealing with a lot of women and you want to help women, I encourage you also to read this book. And so a lot of times we forget, in the woman's womb, that child is being formed. And that child is just a cell. And when that child begins to develop his mind, and he begins to transform, and so that child is already have greatness inside of him. Is when the child comes out, is when the confusion comes about. So once that child is in his mother's womb, that child, greatness is already inside that child. If you study the human anatomy, you will find out that child had greatness. It didn't have anything to do with the color of the child's skin. It didn't have anything to do with the child's male or female. It didn't have anything to do with the child as far as being rich or poor. It was when that child came out. That is when that child was introduced, what it was introduced to. And some of it is very hurtful and painful. So some women relationships have been very painful. Some women are trying to overcome some of that pain. Some women are adults now, and they're still dealing with that. Some young women are struggling and thinking they're the only one. No, sweetheart, you're not the only one. There are a lot of women out here that are struggling. And again, let me turn this book around. So this beautiful queen has put this book together. She has truly did an outstanding job. Again, this is a book you want in your library. This is a book you want to read to your unborn child. You want to read to your children, girls and boys. hey, don't deny the boys of learning. You know, I can actually say I take time with my son and I make sure he understands from the female perspective as well as from the male. Now I'm going to start reading on page 2. Turn it around, let you see that. She has put this book together, giving you a lot of information. You have to just look her up and see her profile, how knowledgeable she is, how much she offered to women, especially women of color. A lot of women of color have suffered through a lot and still continue to suffer. So that's not to take away from any other culture. But when it comes to women of color, we have been denied our history. We have been denied to learn our ancestors, and we have been denied to learn what take care of us and heal us from all the trauma. Okay, so I'm reading on page 2. That's where I'm going to start reading. It says, the condition of a woman's wound also directly reflects the condition of a woman's mind, spirit, and actions. The wound is the storehouse of all emotions. It collects every feeling, good and bad. Today, we have collectively reached a state of negative wound power. Unnatural living, unhealthy lifestyles, negative wound power, and this in tune supports the conflict of humans against the planet, humans against humans, women against the wound. The condition of a woman's wound also reflects the condition of her relationship. When a woman's wound is when a woman's wound is in a healthy state, her mind is a reflection of this balance. The love and caring that a woman gives to her wound reflects her true level of emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental health. Unfortunately, too many women in today's world experience some form of wound degeneration that results in disease. So this is just a small section of this book that she has put together. Again, I always encourage you to read, and most of all, when you select a book, or when I select a book, I select a book in an area that I am trying to heal within myself. And when I heal, I love to share that with other individuals. So again, it's not always limited to the women. It is limited to anyone who wants to make changes in their personal life. And so this particular book, let me hold it up again so you can see it. Please take time to build up your library. Allow the kids, again, to be educated in certain areas. Moms, expected moms, do your reading to the child while they're in the womb. When the children come out, always remember, whatever you instill in the children, that is something you're teaching the next generation. So you want to empower the generation. Because remember, you're over them right now. But when you get old and up in your age, they're going to be over you. So don't look back on that generation and say, oh my goodness, I can't believe. Remember, you have to ask yourself, where in your journey of life did you add into the next generation? So until next time, as always, knowledge is power. The power comes when you get understanding.